Okay, so what is a function? Okay, we talked a lot about graphs. Well, we graphed a lot of different equations in 7.1 in the beginning, right? We graphed some lines, some parabolas, and other curvy functions that have higher powers. But now we want to focus on whether a graph is a function or not, or an equation is a function or not. But first we have to talk about what a function is, right? Before we can determine if it is a function. So a function is a relationship, okay, between two quantities, right? Two quantities are your x and y, where one quantity, the variable, depends on another quantity or another variable. One way to think about it is one input gives you one output. And there's an extra parenthesis there that shouldn't be there. So let's maybe underline a few things here. So two quantities where one quantity, right? So this guy, that's really my y coordinate. And it depends on, or another word for depends is it's a function of another quantity, which is the other variable. So we have x, the x coordinate. So the y coordinate depends on the x coordinate. And I mean, a simple example here, there's a lot of examples, but I just chose a few here. So profit, right, there's one quantity. Profit is a function of sales, right? The profit depends our sales. It depends on sales. If sales are high, then profit is high. If sales are low, then profit is low. So we say profit is a function of sales, or profit depends on the sales. We can say, right, your income, right? If you have a job, your income is a function of what? Of the number of hours you work, right? Your income depends, right, on the number of hours you work. The more hours you work, the higher your paycheck, right? The less hours, the lower your paycheck. And then finally, another example I like to use is your heart rate, right? Depends on, is a function of what? Well, your other quantity is exertion, right? Where exertion is, any mental or physical activity, right? You don't want to overexert yourself, maybe playing a sport, or overexert yourself doing too much math. So just visually here, let's draw this, or just an example. Let me erase that. Okay, so I want to draw a y-axis. Right, that's my y-axis, and an x-axis. Right, here's my origin. And so I'm going to let my x coordinates, right, be, just to pick an example, I'm going to do the heart rate, for example. So the heart rate, so my x-axis is going to be exertion, right? And so there's different types of ways you can exert yourself, right, or overexert yourself, depending what activity you're doing, right? Your heart rate, or in other words, your beats per minute, right, sometimes called BPM, right? If it's 50 beats per minute, right, it beats 50 times every minute. And so, these can be, let's say when you're sleeping, right, your heart rate is a certain, there's a certain BPM, right?